I'm explaining to my buddy like what goodbye language is because like student teaching another student and whatever. And I swear to God, I go, yeah, you got to kind of like roll your shoulder back and like stand like this. And right when I did it, this girl comes over to me, grabs my shirt, and starts making out with me in front of him.
Stop.
Swear.
Albert, we said the same thing.
Hand
Stop.
to God on everything.
But
everything.
bro,
can you imagine being his friend in the moment?
Yes,
he's
stop.
like, wait, how do you stand? He's like, you stand like 3, 2, 1, and the girl just starts making out with him.
It was out of a movie. Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Flirting Podcast. As always, I am here with the incredibly sexual, vibrant, positive Kosmo, and this guy, Albert. And for this episode, I want to talk about what would happen if men and women kind of flipped the script, because I've been thinking about this a lot with online dating, which Albert's always trying to talk me out of, and that's a whole nother conversation. But there's a big difference. I don't know if you're aware of this, Albert, but like Bumble is the one dating app that flips the script and forces women to kind of do the approach first. And in my mind, I want to get your thoughts on it. I think it's a very big failed experiment because we get to see what it's like if women had to approach us, if women had to initiate. They have the burden to get going, and they failed, in my opinion. But
so Albert, right before this, I showed Jared this. So a girl hit me up today on Bumble, right? So she goes, hey, good morning. I never really know how to start other than saying, how are you? LOL, but I feel like it's so generic, right? So I thought to myself before we started doing this podcast, right? I'm like, can you imagine if a guy was to do that to a girl, right? To open up and just saying, hey, I don't know what to do or what to say, and I'm going to walk up to you, but I'm just lost. I don't know what to do. And I just started thinking, like, can you imagine if we have we all seen The Purge?
Yes.
Our viewers, if you haven't seen The Purge, it's where for, I think, 24 hours, right? Everyone can kill anyone.
Yes.
Right?
Well, they can do it more than kill. They can do
Sounds
whatever
like
they
dating
want.
apps. That's exactly.
I know what you do.
Yeah, but okay, yes, I'm. Fuck. So, like, imagine if for 14 weeks out of the year, women were forced to approach men. Like we change the whole dynamic.
The dating purge.
And now like guys go, it sounds so weird even saying out loud. Guys go out to a club, bar, lounge, and then they have like girls night out, but guys night out. And then the girls approach them, right? Like if we flip the script, I was like really curious on the psychology of like what would happen there.
Everyone would be lonely. It would just be a lot of, you know what, it'd be a bit middle school all over again. The boys on the right, the women on the left. And I feel like the women just, like, this is what I expect when I leave it up to the girls. You want to read this?
I have.
This is the kind of openers I get, and I punished it out of sheer frustration. And you weren't aware of this before.
No,
Maybe
yeah.
Brent can put that
brand new.
opener right here in this area. I don't even know if he can. But yeah.
If we can, we'll edit it right here. But right here.
So Annie put God.
Yeah, this is
and I know a lot of guys watching this right now are going, okay. So Annie put a high five emoji.
A wave, just a wave in.
So this is the work that a girl's putting in to get Jared's attention. A high five emoji. So then Jared puts, I'm reading this for the first time, guys. And wait for this. I'm curious if you guys are going to guess this. Awful. I love you so much. Can I give you a handshake? Can I give you a handshake? Albert, he goes, awful. Put in some effort if you want a good man that only attracts fuckboys who don't care about your personality.
Trying to train for the next.
She replies, you would only be attracted with that if that's your intention. I would love to hear Albert's perspective on this. I have so much to say.
So I conducted an experiment, and I think that your purge idea, Kosmo, is the best thing that could happen for dating. Why? Because it forces women to be what? Something that our society is the opposite. Usually, with all due respect, in the dating market, women are often judged primarily by what factor?
Their looks.
Their looks. And now it is flipping the script where their looks are kind of important, but their personality, their game, right? Their social skills they go to the forefront. So I actually did an experiment, guys. I don't know if I told you about this, but I superimposed my location on Bumble specifically to 2 places. One of them was Australia. I put myself in Australia, and one of them was literally Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. And I literally, because my friend Ronnie Barda told me that he goes, Albert, you love Scottsdale. And it's remarkable when you compare how women use Bumble and the platforms that they have to go first in those areas compared to South Florida, Southern California, some of these major metropolitan cities. In those places, it's like, oh my God, your energy is incredible. I love your personality. It seems like you have this, this, and that. And then here in Miami, South Florida, it's literally a wave of the hand, hi, hey, and I'm just like, this is why I hate human beings on dating apps.
I wish that was rare. That's like the default kind of message. I mean, if I go through it, this girl at least says Happy New Year. This one, well, that was the old one. This one says Sup Sexy. This is, oh, hello, hiding my eyes, monkey. Like, it's just, they don't want to put in that kind of effort.
And if we're gonna try to see if we can put it up on the screen on the podcast, but the girl had one-word answers. You had monologues as your responses.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of work that bro.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so we're going to put this up on the screen. She says, "Oh, hello." And by the way, shout out to Anna. She let us use her place. So there's a big train right behind us. So if you hear that, just fuck with it. Just fuck with the vibe. Every time you hear that,
can you? I don't know.
Every time you hear that train, every time you. Every time you hear that train, something really, really good will happen in your life. That's what I was trying to say.
And if you listen really close to the train, you can just hear just loads and loads of undateable girls sending really bad messages on Bumble. Just a bunch of highs and hellos.
You gotta listen carefully, but it's there.
If you listen really closely.
Hashtag I love women. We're just gonna call you guys out for this episode.
I don't know what I said.
So is. Do you mind me sharing this?
I don't know what's in there, but
all
okay.
right, let's just do it.
I talked with her.
So. My point is, this is kind of personal, guys, so we're not going to go into this.
No, I don't care.
All right.
That's the whole point.
So she does, oh, hello, with facing monkey hiding. Okay, he responds, that was smooth line, I'm impressed. She responds, LOL, is that sarcasm? What do girls usually say? The girl said that. Jared responds with, oh my God, you're so cute and sexy. Can me and an army of my girlfriends give you a back massage? Jared replies again, something along those lines. She responds, ha, ha, you're lying. Jared goes into a Daniel Day-Lewis monologue right now. Well, I'll tell you now, I like that you're an entrepreneur like me into yoga, also Jewish, of course. My point is the amount of effort that the guys put in is so much more than the women, which, by the way, it's
Cosmo, can I stop you for a second here? There's a really good teachable moment here, guys. So Jared provided what I think, first of all, I think this girl didn't deserve that line. What did she say first?
You're lying.
No, at first. Hello?
Oh, hello.
And you said, what was it?
Okay, that was a smooth line. I'm impressed.
Okay, that was a smooth line. I'm impressed.
He called her out.
So here's her first mistake. Is that sarcasm? So as the viewer right now, if you deliver something quality and she cannot understand that sarcasm, already your brain should be like, this person they don't get it. Their brain is down, my interest is up. And you tried. Give him credit, Cosmo. He tried to plow through a girl that clearly probably has difficulty.
Albert, you know what's crazy? I give him all the credit.
That's impressive that he tried.
We're going to impose this where she calls me up to plan a date.
That's it. The fact that he didn't give, once she goes, is that sarcasm? I would have thrown my phone onto that moving train and been like, I just can't deal with this. Because this person can't, she can't walk and chew gum.
Are all the guys watching this podcast right now and listening to us feel that you put in so much effort and you're actually not miscalibrated? You're like, actually, that was a good line. Or that was like, I'm being myself. Like, this is really good. And a girl gives like no response or like minimal amount of investment.
He's a chef in a kitchen and they handed him an old can of bumblebee tuna and like some withered lettuce and expired dressing. And he made like an incredible meal. And she's like,
and then when you look into the lettuce, it was just a piece of shit. It wasn't even lettuce. It was literally shit.
Yeah. I'm just like, Jesus.
I'm sorry, Jared. Go ahead.
I have a whole different view on it. But you guys are putting effort. I'm like, for me, I'm like, this effort.
Can you imagine, Albert, if Jared is like, this is my current girlfriend right now?
That'd be incredible.
She might be.
He's like, she'll be here soon.
Shout out to Sheer if you're out there. I just look at it as, look, she's giving me nothing, doesn't care. I guess the difference is I just kind of expect it as the norm, like the different. In fact, if
That's
you go
bad. Don't go that route.
no, if
You can't. Oh, okay, I gotta hijack this whole podcast. You can't expect the norm to be girls have no personalities or no ability to engage as a human being.
Not that. I expect them not to be able to demonstrate it early on. That you have to pry it out, and that they're either shy, they're either unaware or whatever, or they're bad texters. I've heard every excuse, but I will see those kind of girls early on like that, and then only to find out they are fun, they are cool, they can.
How do you?
vibe.
Okay, here's my question. Here's my question to both of you guys.
You realize, oh, she's sweet.
No, here's my question to both of you guys on that. How do you proceed without your soul feeling nauseous? Because if a girl has that little to bring to the table, I can't fake being interested or trying to game her. I can only game someone who deserves my attention, interest, and investment.
I feel like Bruce Banner or the Hulk, where it's like, that's my secret. I'm never interested. Like, to me, it's just like a puzzle. So it doesn't really matter. It's if they're giving me garbage or lettuce or these bad ingredients, like you said, I'm just like, all right, what can I do? Let's play with it. Like, let's try to solve the puzzle and fix it up.
I don't like salmonella. I just throw the ingredients away. We need fresh produce.
In our previous podcast, and let me know what you guys think on the comments. Really curious. Where me and Albert disagree a little bit is that Albert is a high value guy, right? So in our Halloween adventure where we went on in our previous vacation we had, Albert's mindset, and correct me if I'm wrong, Albert, is that he knows he's high value. The problem is what Jared is saying, the girl doesn't know that. And any little thing that a girl does, girls that are watching right now and listening, if you mess up like 2 times, Albert cuts you off. Me and Jared don't.
Right, it's true.
Because our mindset is that they don't know who we are. And also, too, we're detached from this. Like, it doesn't matter. She can say, hey, Jared, you're a fat, ugly guy. I don't like you. Hey, Kosmo, you're...
I'm like, well, we're going to see about that. Like,
it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
So, but by the way, there's no wrong or right mindset for this. A lot of people watching this podcast might go with Albert's mindset.
Well, I disagree. I think there is a right mindset, and I think the mindset wrong. I think the mindset they're displaying is correct for 98% of the male population. You have to try. You have to continue to get better. You have to work at it because, like you said, I've earned my place as a high value guy, quote unquote. How? By years of grinding and doing interactions and fine tuning and understanding. But the reality is most people don't have the experience that we have, right? And how do you get to that level is you have to do the grunt work first. You can't just get to the level of, it's like, think about it, like if you meet a Victoria's Secret model, she's not going to give a guy 2 and 3 and 4 chances. But guess what? She had to work her ass off to become a Victoria's Secret supermodel.
The only difference is that she's leading by her physical attributes, right. Bro. We're not leading by that. I have known
online we're not, and that's why the difference. Online we're not.
I have known so many girls. Maybe Anna behind the camera is watching right now. I have known so many girls that have told me, my wing girls coming out said, that guy was so hot tonight. And she never approached him. So I said, why didn't you walk up and talk to him? She goes, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like, he was supposed to talk to me. And she did her best to give signals, to do all that. Proximity. And the guy didn't react. But our whole Uber drive back, I'm with like 4 girls, my homegirls, and they're like, yeah, I found this guy hot. He was really attractive. And they took no action. Nope. What you're saying is a Victoria model, she's leading by a guy's primitive need, which is what? Like, we go off physical.
Right.
That's where I think the disconnection is with men and women, is that if a girl has tight pants on and she has a nice booty and a nice body, we're not looking to be like, well, I wonder if she can get my sarcasm. I wonder if she has good personality. We're leading by like, gosh darn, she looks beautiful. And then we find out.
Right.
Women don't do that. Because argue with us in the comments right now. I know a lot of women who are like, that guy's really hot. And I'm like, why are you here talking? Like, go walk up and talk to him. They don't do it.
Kaz, let me ask you this. On the flip side, because I'm curious. Is there some? Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear that. What is that?
There's a sad dog there's a sad dog right there.
I'm like, is that my thoughts out loud? Let me ask you this, because I agree with what you're saying there a lot, and this is to me what's interesting. And you hit the nail on the head. How come girls don't do this? They create all these, they work on themselves and the image and the whole thing. But girls, they don't put themselves out there to open guys in real life. That's why Bumble's interesting.
They can't handle rejection.
Let me ask you,
I know exactly why.
Well, yeah, why do you think girls aren't as open, if you will? And number two, if do you guys have any specific memory or moment where you remember a girl approached you and did something to take initiative with you?
It has happened. Don't get me wrong. It's happened. And I can even call up some from memory, but it's rare. Back in the day, girls would come up and be like, can I bum a light off you for a cigarette and stuff? I like your shirt. This is a real story. This is actually insane. I just thought of this. Early in my career with this is early on. I'm talking like less than a year in. I'm explaining to my buddy good body language. I cannot make this story. This is unreal. To this day, it's unreal. I'm explaining to my buddy like what good body language is, because student teaching other student and whatever. And I swear to God, I go, yeah, you got to kind of like roll your shoulder back and like stand like this. And right when I did it, this girl comes over to me, grabs my shirt, and starts making out with me in front of him.
Stop.
Swear.
Albert, we said the same thing.
Hand to God on everything everything.
But
everything.
Bro,
can you imagine being his friend in the moment?
Yes,
he's like, wait, how do you stand? He's like, you stand like 3, 2, 1, and the girl just starts making out with him.
It was out of a movie. No, if I
was him, I would have turned the other guy. I would have started doing the same thing. Like
I was freaking out.
It's like the commercial. Can I get a hot tub? And
I was literally like, she didn't say a word. She just grabbed my shirt, makes out with me, and then of course her friend comes and goes, she's drunk, like grabs her friend away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened? His jaw dropped. He's just like it was, to this day I'm still like, what the hell just happened there?
Yeah, I do. Cautionary tale: do not go off of that advice at all.
There's gonna be a bunch of guys standing around malls with like really big body language.
Like this more,
I watched a Modern Flirting podcast, and they told me to roll my shoulders back, and a girl would approach me.
Hey, it's worked.
So, Kosmo, what happened? Do you have one where you remember? Because you react a little bit, like you remember a girl coming up to you once.
I reacted because of. Let me ask you guys this question: the number one need. What do you feel for a girl is the most attractive thing in a guy?
For her? What's she trying to get? Like
every girl watching, listening right now, if you are in a relationship, right? Like the girl is. I'm talking to the girls right now. And you see Jared or Albert. One of the things that a girl will be very attracted to, and it will trump every other quality, is what?
What I think it is the idea of feeling protected and safe.
I'm gonna say security.
Yeah. So that is like every girl will all agree on this, right? Wants to feel protected, right?
But also financial security.
So let's put this situation together. You are dating a girl right now, and she meets Brad Pitt. What happens if Brad Pitt goes, by the way, if you want for my next movie, I'll fly you out to Ibiza. I'm out there for 8 months. I'm not trying to fuck you. It's all good. Come out. In a 20-year relationship, long-term relationship, now a girl has to face the temptation of what? And I will answer this for myself. Rhetorical. It's power. It's fame. It's, in my opinion, I might be wrong. I feel free to disagree. When a guy has fame and he has power, social dominance, where a girl can be like, this guy runs America or, London, wherever.
So you're saying Joe Biden's getting crazy pussy, is what you're saying.
Everyone except Joe Biden.
Wild pussy.
Everyone except Joe Biden. But you know what I mean, though. Serious talk. Like being an actor or a musician, and a woman can be in a very healthy relationship and meets like a rock star or like an actor. So my point in bringing all of this up right now is, for me, I only had a cop out because of the show I was in. that I experienced that, where I did no work whatsoever and the girls were approaching me, but it felt very natural.
I got to tell you, I'm on the other side of this. I agree with Patrice O'Neal.
Let's do it.
Patrice is he has a great bit where he says, listen, a woman can be, and he actually literally says, a woman can be in a committed relationship and can meet, I think he says Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, whoever it is. And that woman will look at the guy and say, you know what? I would love to, but I love my man. But a man can be in a committed relationship and see a drunk girl passed out by a dumpster and be like, look at her, she's so cute with that garbage in her hair. Like that's it, and he compares the fidelity indicators of men and women. I don't know if that's cause so a lot of, and let me back it up with this, because I think a lot of
that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think a lot of the way I look at things is clouded by, like I said, I put my location in Australia and in Scottsdale because Jared and I are looking at Bumble where we are here regionally in South Florida. I think our regional bias can affect our lens of how we view dating. I think what you're describing is probably very commonplace. Like, let's face it, you live in Hollywood, California, in a place where status and power kind of rules.
I'm still going to fight against you right now, but I'm double team right now. So I feel like and shout out to Patrice O'Neal. Okay, cool. I still am going to fight for my point right now. Most regular relationships don't deal with real temptations. Here's why. They have a 9 to 5.
Right.
And in order to get into, shout out to Jared's Pink Cup, by the way. This is all I got to say about this podcast.
Speaking of temptations.
So let's really break this down for everyone watching. Let me know if you guys can relate to this. 9 to 5. So in order to get to your job at 9, you wake up at what? 7? 7:30, do your makeup as a girl, take a shower. You get out at 5 p.m., you drive home, you're back at 6 p.m. You're married, you have kids. How much time do you really have with your boyfriend or your husband as a woman? So I don't think that most people deal with real temptation, Albert. I think that my point was when you bring temptation into it, now the game changes.
It's like that line, Cosmo. It's like the Chris Rock line, right? He goes, "People are only as faithful as they're in relation to their options." Right. It's like, what are your options out there? That's like the big thing.
Hashtag Chris Rock. When you meet, I'm so sorry, Jared. I know we're hogging a mic, me and Albert, because we're Cuban and we talk a lot. So sorry.
Yes.
There you go. Jared's dog Cupid came out of the closet finally.
My backup.
Hello.
My little backup.
So
Cupid heel.
So here's awesome. Our producer Brent doesn't care. Yeah, he's just ruthless.
Ruthless, Brent. Go
Awesome.
Brent.
So Chris Rock did a thing where he said, when you're out with guys and you say, I met a girl, what do most guys say? How does she look like?
Right.
And then Chris Rock goes, when girls are all out.
What does he do?
And they ask, the girl goes, I met a guy. All the girls go, what does he do? Yeah. So that's my point, is the status, Albert, right? Which I do agree with your point we said earlier. And by the way, I'm just shit talking. I might be wrong. I went through a divorce, so maybe I'm doing shit wrong right now. But I'm just saying, in my head, and this, you guys watching and the girls comment, we want to keep it interactive. I feel like most women are more concerned and looking at the social status of where the guy is at. And most guys we're hardwired to more go off of looks. Yeah, it's my opinion. I don't know.
Okay, so this is a multifaceted thing that you're bringing up. I'm going to break it down a few different ways. Number one, obviously women are traditionally seen as sex objects, and yes, men would be seen as success objects, right? So obviously men are going to be like, oh, what does she look like? Women are going to be like, what does he do? Because these are the primary trigger points of attraction. At the end of the day, though, you're not going to really settle down with a girl just because she's good looking. She's got to check the boxes. She's got to have, for example, we're in South Florida, with some of the most beautiful women in the world, and Albert and I can't stand them. We're just like, these girls suck, whatever. So obviously there's more to it than looks. Women are saying the same thing with guys who have money and whatnot. We see guys all the time who make us look like broke little bitches, yet they can't hold down a girl to save their life. So there's obviously more to it than just that.
So I'm not talking, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I love you. I'm not talking about money. Money and power are two completely different
so let's go with the
things.
fame that you're talking about.
So I know so many guys that are like, that's a lie. I was about to lie right now. I don't know so many celebrities. I don't know so many celebrities. I know like 5 or 10. So I know that they don't make as much money as my other guy friends that are like loaded. I'm talking about power. Does not mean money, bro.
We're talking about fame game. We're talking about the idea of being a celebrity and how that is super tempting to a girl because of clout and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But now we also got to look at what kind of women are in the sphere and meeting these celebrities. You're talking about celebrities meeting these girls at the club, at their own events. The girl gets with a rock star. Guess what? She's at his concert. So we're talking about a subsect of women. We're not talking about the fucking accountant, the lawyer. We're not talking about the woman who's a nurse and just chilling with the doctors, whatever. The pilots are powerful guys, whatever. And guess who they hook up with the most? The flight attendants. So yes, I do agree initially when girls in a certain ecosystem are tempted by power, fame game, it's crazy powerful. With that said, though, I believe, and I've seen that investment will trump that value, where if I've got a woman who's dating me, she's building her life around me, she sees her future with me, she wants to have children with me, she knows I'm providing for her lifestyle, she's not going to throw all of this out the window for a chance for a week with Leonardo DiCaprio. It'll be a great week. She would love it. Don't get me wrong, she might be tempted, but now she's going to be like, you know what, fuck this future that I have just for this one-off temptation. Just like if I found the girl of my dreams and like, this is the girl I'm going to spend my life with, I'm going to marry one day, I'm going to fuck it up by hooking some Victoria's Secret model. Like,
you know a question I get a lot, and I'm sure you guys get equally or more than me, and you guys are going to laugh, is, hey, Albert, you're a dating coach. You teach men how to meet girls. How come you're single? Right? No, hold on. And what this conversation is leading me to is, I think it's Kosmo's 100% right and Jared's right. It's like we spend all these times as men, and you guys, if you're a man watching this, you're like, we set up all these things, and it's so funny how we often miss the mark. Like during this conversation, I'm realizing in real time, I'm like, wait a second. I work my ass off to make money, right? So I can have nice things, so I can provide security and comfort and gain power, right, Kosmo? And have all these things. And then Jared goes, we're in this market with all these beautiful women and we hate them all. And I'm like, he's right. And it's like, the problem is that I'm trying to become Brad Pitt, but I want the accountant like girl that like lives a small town life. And it's like, I think that's the problem in society is like people think they want one thing and they work towards a certain goal, but really what matches them is something different, right? Like I'm same thing for you and you. Like the three of us sitting here, we don't have trouble meeting women, but we have this weird relationship with blending with the right kind of woman. Does that resonate at all with you guys?
Shallow. So this is a conversation I have with the girls. We want shallow and deep. The girls like, are you shallow or are you deep? I'm like, I'm honestly both. I want the hot, big titty, blonde, cool girl, whatever, who can rock up in a club with and be arm candy and is a stunner, who will leave that club early with me to go watch some Game of Thrones and Harry Potter back at my place and be a nerd out with me, right? So it is, and I want to be able to be, deep with her, share core values, all that good stuff. And then at the same time, I want to be partying on a yacht with her. So I don't see why you can't be shallow and deep and have both of it. But
yeah. So if I'm going out, but by the way, brilliant point, Albert. And I love that I'm having epiphanies myself, like right now.
Right, you're sitting here, right, and it's like hitting you in real time. You're like drawing it up. You're like, wait a second.
It is.
I'm building towards this, but this is here, and it's like,
is this even what I really want?
You know what I'm saying, dude?
It is so true. Yeah. By the way, we're supposed to start this podcast by saying why I'm wearing this ridiculous outfit.
Why are you so Kosmo? Why are
so all of you that have made fun of me in the comments so far, why I'm dressed like this, is I just got back from Tulum. So this is why I'm dressed this way, and
dominant.
I'm gonna segue back to your question, but I want to like kind of divert a little bit. The Tulum trip I just took really did change my life and my outlook with women. I saw and interacted with some of the most beautiful women physically, and I was able to actually talk to their inner nerd, their inner quirky side, their inner Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning where they're not on their Friday night, Saturday night persona, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I was
that Wednesday afternoon energy is so much better than the Friday persona, isn't it?
Because I was
It's
able
so
to be
crazy.
like, oh my God, you're like a nerd, like me. Like you're quirky, and usually in my experience, I might be typecasting right now, but I live in Hollywood. When you meet a beautiful girl, at least my life is going to be Friday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. So I have to talk to a girl for 10 to 15 minutes before I can break down her wall. Once I break down the Great Wall of China, then I can see who she really is, right? In Tulum, what happened, what was so interesting, and I'm going to segue back to your point right now, was that I got approached without being famous 5 times by 5 beautiful women. And I had to pause, and this is what this whole episode is about, and go, that was so gangster what you did. I was with my friend John, and 3 really beautiful, the first time it happened, 3 really beautiful women were walking by. We looked, we smiled at each other, and then John was like, go open her. Open meaning go talk to her. I'm like, bro, I'm so chilling. They kept walking. The girl made a U-turn and came back and said, you caught my eye. I feel so embarrassed doing this. I'm Michelle. What is your name? And for 5 seconds, I was like, I'm being punked. I'm being punked, or
It's a trap.
or she's a transvestite. Either or. I'm like, this is too good. So we ended up, she was for the whole weekend, we hung out. And it was a shocker to me, right? Which, I was paranoid. I was like, she's a hooker. This can't be true. She was a normal girl from LA, which I'm going to be hanging out with her now. And the props for any woman listening and watching this, please do more of this. I told her, what you just did right now, you made my whole Tulum trip a dream. This is so refreshing. At no point do I think you're a hoe or you're a slut or I'm judging you. What you did is what most women should do. She found me attractive. Whatever reason why, I don't know why. And then she came back and she did that. And I was like, man, I didn't say man. I said, well, thank you so much for that. And that shifted my mindset.
Now, I'm wondering, is that a Tulum thing, or did she do that in LA too? Is that a her thing?
It's a Tulum thing, because in Tulum, it was
back to LA and just eyes roll back in the head. She goes, I'm back to fuck
100%.
Anybody.
It was a Tulum thing because the energy was right. The guys in Tulum this New Year, by the way, Jared, this year, when I went, were non-creepers. Every guy was just like, bro, we're having a guys trip at Tulum. And I kept noticing that from when we went to Tulum, it was very different. The guys there were like, we're having a good time by ourselves. So women, being so intuitive, massively more intuitive than guys are, started to pick up on the vibe that a lot of the guys here are high value and they have no problem hanging out the whole day and the whole night with them. So they had to adjust. And this is why I told you, I promise you, on one of my favorite people on the planet, my grandma's life, it was the most amazing vacation I've ever had in my life, where the girls were just so beautiful physically and able to drop their guard and be like, I don't care, I'll approach him. I was I'm thrown off on how I'm going to keep coaching with what I experienced. I was so impressed by women.
It was like anti-Florida at that point.
Well, if this might be the best, what he's describing there is the best version of what's happening with the paradigm shift with online dating and things like Bumble. You know what's funny about Bumble, man? You know, I've always we joke around about online dating, but I think, you know, obviously everyone knows Tinder was the first big heterosexual online dating app.
But you actually got me onto it. I don't even remember. Like, have you checked out Tinder?
Oddly enough, right? And if you remember the early days of Tinder, it was, what are the percentages, guys? 95% guy opening the girl, something like that, right? I think since this Bumble thing, it's funny we started with the Bumble. I think more girls are not as afraid to open on the hinges and on Tinder now. It's probably closer to 70% of the time, right? Where girls are probably opening about a third of the time on the other apps. And it's good for Kosmo to see actually in an environment, like he said, where there's a bunch of high value people who can kind of read each other's frequencies, as he said maybe in a previous episode, and she has the confidence to come up to him and engage with him. And listen, the fact that she then asked him to pay for sex, that's not going to take away from this. You know, that the girl still, I'm just joking, no, she was a real person. But
she's a sweetheart. Shout out to Tulum girl.
But all things considered, look at this guy. He's a handsome guy, and he was literally taken back like, I can't believe this happened. Because it probably in LA or in other places doesn't happen very often.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah.
You know what does? You know what it does kind of happen was a little bit in Vegas.
A little bit.
I will say a little bit. Like the girls were more aggressive and fun, and they got that mentality. So I remember being in Vegas, being like, "This is like a candy shop," and you know. Like,
what's great about what he said is, and what girls do, I think, is wow.
Oh,
the
Come here,
hostess
Anna.
of
Come here, real
mostess.
quick. Come here, Anna. Come here, Anna. Come here. Come here, real quick. Come here. Come here.
This is Anna, the host.
This is
of
our other host,
today's
Anna, right?
podcast venue.
You have to get into because the camera frame's over here. Shout out to
Go down.
yes. Shout out to Anna. She's so amazing.
Our lovely
Hi,
host.
Anna.
Thank you, Anna.
Good introduction, Anna. There you
Much,
go.
Anna. And but yeah, Jared, I'm not sure where I was going with that, but where was I saying? Oh yeah, Cosmo
Sorry, Albert.
Yeah, Cosmo made a point earlier where he's like, girls will often leave a venue being like, oh my God, I gave that guy the indicator. I tried to open him and he didn't notice it. Because why, Cosmo? Girls are so subtle when they do open.
Why?
Because girls are, I believe that in the dating world, girls are not hardwired as well as men to deal with the rejection
Yes.
and deal
That's
with
exactly what I was gonna say.
a guy turning them down.
Everyone
freak out?
watching this podcast and listening, why do you think? So,
Because our moms.
because they're moms. Okay.
I'll say because my personal thing is when a girl.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, hear me out. Hear me on this. When a girl is young and she's going into becoming 12, prepubescent, she starts developing, puberty's hitting, right? What kind of talk do you think the mom sits her down has? Every guy's going to want you for one thing and one thing only. You have to be careful. You got to understand what's going out there. You're going to start getting attention that you're not used to. Men only want one thing, and they get inbred subconsciously that their vagina is their entire power, their entire self-worth. They realize, like, this is what guy finds attractive. Why is Johnny dating Becky? Becky must be prettier than me. That's the only thing, right? So what happens when your whole worldview is this is my value, and then you broadcast it to someone and go, hey, do you want this whole thing that's the most valuable thing I have? And then guys are like, I'm good. No, thank you. I'm all right. That is completely destroying and demoralizing, right? It's imagine if you're like, look here, girl, here's all my accomplishments as a man. Again, success object, right? Here's all my accomplishments as a man. And you go, no, you're kind of a loser. Like that for a man, that's completely demoralizing.
Damn, I did not know you're going in this direction. That was deep. Fucking props, dude. So what you're saying is that the girls who are watching this and listening, so you're saying that they've been programmed to lead by their physical attributes, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And they understand that is their biggest worth.
Right. So then they want to go out at 10 p.m. So they start getting ready at 8 p.m. Makeup, high heels, showing pictures, all of the above. They're putting hours of work because they know that they're leading by
Their look. Can I blow
So
your mind
then
one more
when
time? Real quick, can I blow your mind with one last thing on this? On this point, they put all this work in, right? We know a girl, I'm not going to say names. We know a girl where she does all this work. She goes out, it's not Anna. She puts all this work in and goes out or whatever. And then she maybe one night doesn't get approached by any guys. Complete meltdown, feeling of no self-worth. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would never say...
Right, and that is something that a lot of girls I think can relate to. It's not a her thing. I think that's a lot where women are like, everybody here's gay. What the fuck am I losing? Blah, blah. And that's a night rejection. They didn't even do anything. Can you imagine as a man going out to a club and just not approaching, not doing shit, and going, I'm worth it. Women don't like me because no one approached me or whatever. I'm losing it. It's like, you didn't even do anything. Like, but that's the reality.
You opened up so many different loops right now. It's going to be hard to, segue in just...
Well, that's our time. So anyways.
Man, by the way, dude, I'm learning from you. You just open up like another portal in my brain. You know where I was taking it, guys and girls listening? I was not taking that at all in that direction.
I didn't have that either at all. I have a completely different thing.
That's what I'm here
So
for,
Albert,
guys.
I want to hear you. Do you want me to go or you go first?
No, yours is going to be way better than mine.
I'm
So
the
I'll go
host
first.
on here. Albert, shut up.
Yours is going to be way better. Mine is
99% of what Albert says is like I'm trying to get to your level, bro.
No, yours is going to be way better. This is how simplistic
guys,
Cosmo.
you're both garbage.
Cosmo. This is how simplistic mine is. I think girls just show up and there's an established thing in society. They're like, they grow up and they see what's happening and they're like, oh wait, guys hit on girls? Great, because I didn't want to do it. Because guess what? When I was 16 or 15 or whatever the appropriate age was, and I liked girls, did I want to talk to them? Of course. Was I terrified? 1,000%.
Yes.
But guess what? Just like it's our responsibility to pick up the bill, there's just societal norms. And the societal norm is girls, for whatever.
But the whole point of this whole episode is, can you imagine if this is why we got into this episode, right? Like the purge. For 16 weeks, right? No guy on planet Earth was able to walk up to a girl. If you did, in this weird world, Jared, you want a beer? Okay. Anna, you got it? Okay. You did. Now I know how Albert feels.
I didn't know.
No, you did it because you're distracting me.
No guy on this earth with a girl wants what?
Okay, so for 16 weeks, if any guy was to approach a girl, you would get shocked, like tasered. So meaning, or even shot, like boom. So you couldn't do it. So guys, just follow me here. This is crazy. So for 16 weeks, the whole planet Earth, no guy had the ability to walk up to a girl. I'm curious to know
Thank you.
what women would do at this point.
What women would do?
Jared is definitely not annoying me at all right now. He's the most not annoying character ever. Just go with it, bro. Just fucking do it. That for 16 weeks, like no guy could approach a girl, and women had to do something about it, which is what happened with me in Tulum, right? Like it was so impressive. I'm just curious. It would never happen, by the way. Like biologically speaking, it would never happen. There's no way that you're getting millions and 7.7 billion people on the planet right now. You're not getting millions and millions of guys not to do this. But if you did, I wasn't going with what you said. And guys and girls listening to this right now and watching this, I felt that so what was your thing? What'd you come up with?
What if we just like Mr. Beast this shit? Like
hold on.
We blow up and we just pay 1,000 guys to just not approach a single girl in the club. Nobody does it.
Then there would be millions of other guys that would do it.
No, you don't let men. We literally every guy
there's
comes in has to-
there's already thousands of guys not approaching women because you have not enrolled in our program, by the way, so that's why you're not doing it. But there's thousands of guys after this podcast we're going out that you can see them not doing it. That's not the challenge.
I'm just thinking a social experiment where women don't know what's going on, but nobody's getting approached. All the guys are acting like girls, throwing their wallets and keys on the floor and having a little dance.
This is a very good idea, Jarrett, in theory. The problem is that some people have been known to drink Trulies, and then when they have too many Trulies, all these great ideas go out the window, bud.
We pay them. We incentivize them.
Oh, so you're telling me that there's a guy downstairs at one of these. By the way, we talked on a previous episode, Cosmo, remember, about comparing venues right down there? Fort Lauderdale. And there's going to be one guy who's at 16 Miller Lights. And that guy's not going to abide to Mr. Beast, Cosmo, Jared, Albert, or the Easter Bunny.
Theoretically speak, go ahead, Jared. Go ahead.
We shock them if they do it.
I mean, theoretically speaking,
I'm with Cosmo. I don't think it can happen.
All right, it's impossible. We have no faith in these men.
But I think no, you're missing my point. It's not about the faith in men. It's about the faith in women. And if it was to happen, like how would they be able to do that?
They leave.
Like okay, but so I mean, yeah, there's no answer here.
No, women. I think to answer your question, Cos, I think in speaking in a vacuum where this is a commonplace, it's a fight or flight thing. I think women would have to eventually adjust. Just like, guess what? Women didn't intend on doing online dating, having to send Jarrett a handshake emoji, but Mr. and Mrs. Bumble created the app, and now, guess what? These girls are forced to comply by the rules of engagement. So I think that it would be interesting to see what happened if we had to.
I have a startup idea. I want to get your ideas. Okay, you go for it. Go.
Go ahead.
No. You've been quiet.
Go ahead.
All right. This was an old dating app idea I had. I think I told you about this, but you probably forgot. I forgot about it. It's called Mirror Me. All right. And here's the rules. So a guy can start off saying whatever he wants. He can write as big a paragraph, whatever the fuck he wants, but he opens her that way, right? Then the girl responds. And the guy is forced to only text back to match the amount of characters she used. And the girl knows this. So here's what it does. It is trading on both sides. Number one, the girl is forced, if she wants real shit from the guy, she has to give long-winded responses.
I stop talking. Shut the fuck up. We're going to trademark this shit. None of you motherfuckers
You came
are
up
going
with
to do
this?
this.
Yes.
No, literally.
Yes.
No, literally. We're going to cut this from the podcast. Shut the fuck up and stop
good
talking.
is
No,
it?
I know. We're not going to talk about this anymore. That is literally game-changing. Let's switch subjects.
What's great about this,
I
too-
want to make a couple $1 million. Like
This is good shit, right?
This is brilliant because
great about
as a filmmaker, sorry Albert, as a filmmaker, when you're submitting a film, they only give you a certain amount of characters to describe your film, but you're like, I want to tell you what it's really about, and they restrict you from doing it. They're like, you only have this amount. So you have a bunch of crazy filmmakers going, we can only use these many words to describe our film. And it makes us actually think about what our film is really about. It makes us go back and go, wait, what can we put forward? And it puts a lot of thought into our brain that we wouldn't have. If they would give us unlimited space to do it, we would go, okay, we'll say whatever. I think what you just said is very genius. There's a reason why like TikTok is, like a minute long. Like they don't want it to go like,
Right.
It's really good, man.
And then,
Bro.
here's another kicker. Money, as a guy,
By the time this podcast comes out, we need to trademark this shit.
we will. You can pay for more characters if you really want them. So the guy can be like, you know what? I need to just get this one of those. I'll pay an extra $5 for just a couple more words. You could pay to get a little bit more.
This is absolutely genius.
I'm going to do my best that I can to erase this podcast right now. I'm going to do everything in my power. Jared,
Character match.
brother, here's why I think what you just said is like really, really smart. And it goes back to our whole podcast, right, Albert? Is like, what if we leveraged the playing field? What if, by the way, it will never happen. And everyone watching, I hope you know that we're just joking. It will never happen. Women will.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, everyone wants to level out the wage gap. They want
No, it will never happen.
But you're right. The percentage or the frequency of who
It will
has to
never
open
happen.
never will happen.
It will never,
Literally never
happen.
But maybe.
So it is a dream world that we're talking about right now. But I hope the guys watching this are like, man, can you imagine if? And I hope the women that are watching this are going, fuck Kosmo, Jared, and Albert. Tonight, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna approach the guy I find attractive. Because going back to my
I'll tell you one thing. I'll challenge all our viewers right now on YouTube. If you think you have a line or an opener or something you would say, put it on the comments right now. Ladies, I want to hear your best opening line. If you saw Kosmo dressed like this, or you saw Jarrett with his newfound Mirror Me money, or you saw Albert poorly drinking a White Claw, what would you say to us?
I'll tell you what, guys.
For all of you that are listening on our audio platforms, I'm completely dressed in white with a very weird hat, no shoes on right now, Tulum vibes.
He's wearing a white linen outfit. He looks like an out-of-work tobacco salesman who's trying to sell you a cigar on the corner.
All right, well, I guess I'm going to be out of this podcast. I was really confident when I got in here.
But we like tobacco. It's fine.
When I got out of the elevator, Anna was like, this looks really good. It's got me off.
Wow, that's so
and
sweet.
And now, like, Albert triggered what I was really...
button more of this?
You didn't have to lie to him.
Anna...
He's like an island boy.
Exactly. He's very unlikable, like an island boy.
Right? It looks
like
great.
the island boy.
But
no,
Albert,
he's killing the
Albert
game.
activated.
All joking aside, he's killing the game, guys.
Albert activated my inner thoughts. I do think I look like that. So Albert called me out on it.
Next episode, Kaz, we're actually, I don't know if we can do this, but I was like, can we smoke cigars? I was like, fuck it, let's get this.
We can do whatever we want.
Let's get some Cubans, baby.
No, the boss won't like it. I'm sorry. He's not going to.
The boss won't like it.
So if
But yes, let's challenge him, Cosmo.
For the women watching this, not the guys, for the women watching this podcast, the best opener that you would give to a guy that you see out in a bar, you win a date with Albert. Because I know you need that. You need a girl who's clever and can think. So if you want all this sexiness up in your face, give us your best opener. Now for the guys, you give me your best opener, you get a date with Kosmo. On an island, wherever you want it.
Man, this is
Let's
great.
fucking go. I'm so down.
This is great.
Thank you so much. When Jared started talking, I thought he was going to say something very deep. But yeah, you said what I thought you were going to say.
I'm shallow and deep. We discussed it. I'm both. I can do both.
This is really going off the rails in the best way possible. The best way possible.
So I'm really curious about this, though. So I really, guys, be honest right now.
Yes.
They're going to make fun of me. I'm going to say it anyways.
Yes.
I felt so appropriate dressing this way in Tulum because it was a social norm. So I get out of my car to come up to Anna's place, which is where we're at right now. And a part of me, I get out of my car, I'm with my hat, I see like 4 guys just smirking at me. And I'm like, And I'm walking and I'm like, well, I'm in Fort Lauderdale right now. And I think to myself, well, cause this made you feel good and you had opened by girls by wearing this, right? Like women approach me. They're like, hey, nice vibe. But I get here and I get weird glances. You guys can make fun of me watching this video. I know you will. Is he gay? What's wrong with him? Why is... I knew you were going to do that. It's a yes button.
Well,
and so I thought to myself, it was really cool to go through... I'm going to get deep real quick. My own demons, my own insecurities, right? To be like, yo, cause, like, why, if you felt comfortable wearing this in Tulum, now you come somewhere, are you going to hide your hat till you get up to the podcast? And I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, this made me feel good. I'm going to keep doing it. And then, oddly enough, like, as soon as I get up the elevator, first thing Anna says is, Anna, what'd you say? She said it popped out. She didn't say that. Anna forgot, but yeah.
Well, Anna's a ray of sunshine.
She was like I like this. I like this.
Cosmo, Cosmo, you know what's great about that? You just experienced what this episode's about. Is you wearing that costume is a girl opening a guy. She might feel a little bit weird. She might have some people look at her.
I was about to take it there, and Albert took it. My point was...
Yeah, way to go, Albert. You stole it.
You get to do something unorthodox.
Albert. Cosmo, make the point. Don't listen to it. We're going to cut that out. So what happened, Cosmo?
That he nailed it was that what if the feeling that I had on how uncomfortable I felt and I was not going with the social norm, what if I led by my gut feeling and my intuition, which I did? What if women, you know my point, Albert, did that? Which is like the Tulum trip and all this is like, that guy's hot. I'm like, go talk to him. Are you kidding me? I can't do that. So I got to get to my point real quick. So what Jared said earlier on, I'm so sorry, guys, that this took this long to get to my point.
And that's all the time we have. So
I'll see you on the next episode. I completely was not going there earlier on in our point. I feel like women, what Jared said is very valid, like looking for protection, looking for all that, why they can't do that. I'm going to have to disagree. I feel like in my opinion, I might be off, and guys, like, let me know what you think. I feel like women don't walk up to guys is because they're scared that they're going to be called the H and the S word. I think that. And I thought that that's where this was going. But Jared took it way deeper, pretty much better than my feedback. But I think most women are not approaching men because they're going to be considered what, Albert? A hoe or a slut. And that is their paranoia mindset coming in. Because most women don't do that. If you do that, what happens with most guys that don't know game or they're not calibrated? Most guys punish women regardless. Yo, bro, you had a good date tonight? What happened, bro? Did you fuck or not?
You get laid?
No, just role play with me. Yo, bro, did you fuck or not?
Nah, man, no, you're gonna get there.
Oh, what a bitch, bro.
All right.
Yo, did you fuck her tonight?
Bro, you know it, bro.
What a fucking hoe, bro. What a hoe, bro. That girl's a slut. Either way, guys are nailing women to a corner where it's like, what do you want me to do? If I fuck you,
they're nailing them.
I'm a hoe or a slut. If I don't fuck you, I'm a bitch. I have issues.
Can I just say I'm so thankful when you said the H word, it was hoe and not whore. There was a moment where I'm like, he thinks whore starts with an H. But I'm just so glad.
Wait, it doesn't?
I think you're right, Cos. I think we do it like one of my favorite.
Where I was going with it, right?
Listen, I don't like a lot of the new 100%. Society thinking, but that's a big thing that I'm like super like for is I don't slut shame, and I think that was like an old thing that happened of like people judging and body count and all this
really
shit.
Advanced guys, guys who are really good with women. They never slut shame. So I see that again and again. The guys who actually get laid are never like, these are a bunch of whores.
We're going to get a lot of pushback right now. And by the way, me, Jared, and Albert just decided to start going on social media. So we're new to this world. I got 2.6 million followers on a video.
Views.
Views. On a video that just talked about fact that I told the girl, do you think it's weird if you talk about how many guys you slept with? My videos, by the way, guys, we get very little views for right now. It got 2.6 million views. And I started watching the comments.
Which was also her body count. It's so weird.
7,000.
I'm kidding. It was
7,000.
Which is lovely. We do not share.
Guys, I spend fucking 11 months making a movie. And I get like 20 comments. I got over 7,000 comments on his video.
Insane.
And it's all about, Brent, where were we? El Camino?
Yes.
We were at
Fort
El
Lauderdale,
Camino in Fort
Shout out
Lauderdale.
to Brent, the producer, by the way.
And so I just launched this thing out where I go, do you think it's weird? Why is it so weird for women to talk about how many guys they slept with? And this video has gone viral. And I think to myself, cause go back and watch the comments. I did for 3 hours. 90% of the comments, she's not a good wife. Fuck that hoe. She's a bitch. They think the opposite way of how we think. So I'm like what do you call it? The narrator? Like, no, I'm the moderator, right? It's called moderator. So I'm like, yo, what if how does a girl feel if you fuck that many girls? And I got so many comments replying back to me, simp, you're a pussy. Go watch Andrew Tate's videos. You're a simp. I'll fuck you up if I ever see you. I'm like, here's where I train. Come at me. I'm like, why does it make me a simp if I just defended a girl to be like, if she fucked 40 guys before I met her, who am I to judge her? So many of the comments were like, she's never housewife or all that. I'm like, but why? I'm like, but she, in my opinion, and guys, you watching this, maybe I'm wrong. Like, let me know what you think. I think, Albert, that until she met the right guy, she'll settle down.
I'll tell you what that's an indicator of, Kaz. And for those of you watching this
By the way,
episode-
guys, I might be really wrong right now.
No.
I'm just saying what I feel, right?
I'm surprised guys on the internet would say such hurtful, awful things.
Here's what I think that is. And for those watching this episode, I hope you stay with us because we're going to discuss this on the next episode. To me, Kaz, this is a perfect example, and Jarrett, of an illogical person versus a logical person. The people that have that disconnect in their brain, that can't wrap around their head what you said, those are irrational humans. And I think next episode, we're going to talk a little bit about how emotional people, those people to me, they're two things. They're inexperienced and they're irrational because they're not using their brain. They're just, they're regurgitating something that somebody told them that's not founded on reality. So they're not rooted on reality and rational thought. And we're going to have a little bit of discussion this next episode. I'm looking forward to it.
On that note, are you a more logical thinker, emotional thinker? How do they coalesce together? Find out the next episode, but that's it for us, guys. Take care.